Dorsey T. Montgomery Sr. was once a steward at the iconic Mother Emanuel AME Church. Today, he sits down one-on-one with me to talk about his experience as a member and what's his hope for the church's future in this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Mr. Dorsey Montgomery Sr., welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you, Quintin. I'm glad to be here with you this morning.
Oh, I appreciate it greatly.
Yeah.
Obviously, I understand that you're one of the stewards at Mother Emanuel AME Church.
Used to be.
Used to be.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Long time ago.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who is Dorsey Montgomery Sr. these days?
Dorsey T. Montgomery Sr. is just a young man that's trying to live out the rest of his life and maybe do what God would have him to do at this stage of his life. Right.
What do you want? What do you think God wants for Mother Emanuel AME Church?
I think that God would have us to do the mission of serving the community. And Quintin, of course, there are not a lot of families, period, within the Emanuel proximity. A lot of them have moved out, but it doesn't mean that we can't continue to offer services that would enable the members of our church and the people that are still in the community.
You talk about that community. Obviously, Mother Emanuel is surrounded by what? Alexander Street, Chapel Street,
Yes,
Elizabeth Street. And back then, they had all of these boroughs and obviously the Washington Street projects. Why do you think the membership, in some people's mind, is dwindling at Mother Emanuel this day?
well, I do know that I have talked to some members that are not there anymore, and they simply said the leadership. They said, I said, why'd you leave? I don't see you anymore. She said, I couldn't stay there and take that anymore. And I didn't push it any further because that's their opinion, and I respect that. That was enough. If they say leadership, I can take it from there.
How do you define leadership at Mother Emanuel AME Church right now?
I don't think it's where it was 20 years ago. And you would think that 20 years ago that we would have sort of had, at least you would think 20 years ago, and you're looking now, you'd say we have better leadership. But we had solid men back then. The pastor, I can remember the pastor that I joined in, Reverend Holman.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you something. It wasn't a Sunday that he came up there that he did not greet and talk to every young child. He knew everybody by name, and he was just a genuine, you could see it within him, a genuine good person. And that's who I joined Emanuel Church under Reverend Holman.
Under Reverend Holman.
Right.
I know you just mentioned a lot of the parishioners have left Mother Emanuel AME Church. Why do you keep staying?
I'm in limbo because I haven't decided exactly what I want to do, but I am smart enough to realize that it's not what I want to do. I must ask God to lead and guide me in making the right decision, because I have visited other churches and I like some of the service. See, Quintin, not being from Charleston, I was born Baptist.
Yeah, okay.
I went to AME Zion College.
Wow.
And when I came to Charleston, I joined a Baptist church. And Mother Emanuel happened to be at the right place when I started playing golf. And I would go to their early morning service, and then I would go and play golf.
Wow.
And, you take people like Reverend Hilda Scott.
Yes.
She said, why you not staying here for Sunday school? And that's when I started to put golf aside, and I came to Sunday school. But you have to ask God to lead you and guide you. And whatever decision that I make, I want it to be pleasing in His sight, so I don't have to go back to Him again and say, God, I don't think I made the right decision. And of course, He always will understand, and He'll make it right for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You talk about Sunday school. What is that like at Mother Emanuel?
It's not where I think it needs to be, but if I'm not a part, then I can't criticize the program. But I just feel like that we just have to, the young people, and see, we don't have a lot of young people within the area, and a lot of times they have to depend on their parents to bring them to church. So if the parent is not coming to Sunday school, usually they may get there late. So, and again, within the, we could be innovative enough to say what we need to do and stuff. That's what we would have to do. And I think if we do that, there's a possibility that our Sunday school could grow. And, Quintin, Ben, that you asked me that, a couple of years ago, the Sunday school superintendent, I gave her a donation, and she said, well, it don't go in the Sunday school account, it goes to the church. I said, well, you don't have a Sunday school account? She said, no, the pastor said all our money had to go into one account. And I can tell you, I used to be superintendent of a Sunday school.
Right.
We had a large Sunday school, but I was not because it was successful. It was the staff that I had.
Sure.
And they had their stuff together, and they meetings, and they said, Mr. Montgomery, we're going to do this. I said, that's what you're going to do. We took trips.
Yeah. We
even took trips to wherein that we wanted to make sure that it was only for the Sunday school members.
Yeah.
But we didn't hold to that. If there was somebody there that really wanted to go and they couldn't afford to go, we took them. And that's where the Sunday school should be at.
Where should Mother Emanuel be right now?
Mother Emanuel should be the leader of the churches within the Charleston area. Should be. But you got to have a leader to lead that order. See, when you're a leader, a lot of times, you're not the one that's out front. You have people around you and supporting you that's pushing the church up. It's almost like a quarterback of a team.
Sure.
The quarterback is a quarterback, and he's always going to get the praise. But who's actually doing the work? The linemen.
Oh yeah.
The running back.
Sure.
The defense. Those are the people going to do the work. If you have good people in Emanuel, you have talented people in Emanuel that could do a lot of things. And if you use them and filter them, and it can't be where I don't like this person, even though this person is the best person to head this committee. That's when you got to throw that away. You got to get the best possible person for the job.
For the job.
Yes.
You talk about obviously the talented people in Mother Emanuel, and as you know, the memorial is the big talk around town right now. What do you think the members are thinking right now when it comes to a future memorial?
I don't. There are some with mixed feelings, because when you think about it, depends on where the memorial is placed. you could disface the church. And if it's a good memorial and you need to disface the church, I understand that. But you got to start with your members. How is it that we make decisions a lot of times without the memberships, but yet when it's time to pay up, it goes directly to the members? You know, you can't have it both ways. If you want the members to be a part of the process, you start them from the beginning. What would be best for this church? Because Quintin, we won't see it, but the edifice will be there. But the church itself, over a period of time, I think it'll be a historical place where people will be able to go in and look at it and say, this is where the church used to be.
Right.
Because if the people still move out, and you have older people in the church, and you don't have the young people to help build up the church, where's the church going to go? Of course, the church is in your heart. You just have the edifice there. How can you take care of it? How can you maintain it? It's a lot to maintain a building of that size based on when it was built.
Yeah. You talk about maintaining and obviously the church and the size. What is that process like right now at Mother Emanuel?
I haven't been in that church in about maybe a year before the pandemic. I just didn't go. I just visited other churches. I didn't feel comfortable. I did not. And I'm not going to be a phony. I asked God to lead me. I visited other churches. I made donations to other churches, you know, because all that I have belong to God, and I realize that, and I try to make sure He didn't say you had to pay this church, that church, you know.
Right.
You know, I do the best that I can, and so and there's no need me to tell you something that I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Wow. And I know obviously there was a recent inquiry about alleged misfunds going on within the church, allegedly. In your mind, how could it be that a recent inquiry regarding the alleged whereabouts of the money is not more persistent and more demanding from the church members?
Because of that same doctrine that I talk about, the doctrine and discipline of the African Methodist Episcopal Church. I couldn't tell you. I have not seen a report that shows this is the amount of money that was collected. This is the amount of money that was dispersed. This money came into the church. This money came in for the victims. And I've been in meetings and we've asked for it and they said, well, you're going to get it, you're going to get it.
Wow.
But I have not seen it. And see, the thing about it is, when you start dealing with money, you got to be honest and you got to be totally transparent. And who's to say where the money went? Because there's a philosophy in the AME Church. Once it goes to the church has a right to the money. And that should have never happened.
What do you think is going on with the budget and the rebuilding of Mother Emanuel?
I think that someone somewhere has done something that was, I wouldn't say wrong. They altered what they should have done, because I've heard now that we have a building fund now. And they're asking people to donate to the building fund. And based on, if you would ask someone, oh, well, we got so many hundreds of $1,000s that people donated to the church. Now, if people all around the world, little kids having lemonade sales, and they sending their $10 and $12 to the church, for what reason should Emanuel at this time need a building fund? Now, if money was spent maybe where it should not have been spent, then I understand why you need a building fund if you were not accountable.
Where did they spend the money where they shouldn't?
Well, I have no idea. And I'll be honest with you. You know, I can only speak of things I know because we haven't seen anything on paper. We have not seen a report. You know, but those are things that should have been out 3 or 4 years ago. Because the longer you let it lag, you know, we as a people have short memory. You know, you got Black Lives Matter. And I was thinking about this just a few minutes ago. You know, a lot of Christians need to go, Christian lives matter too. Because you don't want to be treated or mistreated. And you're trying to serve God. We have people that try to put on programs in the church. And it seems like that we want to do everything to stop them. You know, just put on a program, even if you're not from the a part of the program, if that person feel like this would be good for the community. Officers, leaders, they shouldn't be the one to stop the program, so put it on. And then, if the program is a success, okay, Emanuel AME Church did a good job. If the program is a failure, what they're going to say? That person didn't do what they want to do. They didn't do what they should have done to make the program a success. But don't stop them. Let them. That's the only way that we can strive. We don't become successful by being successful. A lot of us come successful by failing. Because once you fail, you know where you went wrong and you know what to do.
Right.
You know, and I don't contribute right now to the church, and it's not bad because I give to some churches.
Sure.
You know.
That building fund, if they were to raise this money, where exactly in the building should be fixed up in your mind?
I haven't been in it in a year, Quintin. I wouldn't know. I really wouldn't. But a lot of times, when you have to get up and do a building fund, a lot of times it's because you have not paid attention to the building before. Because if you pay attention to the building, you will know what needs to be fixed when it becomes a problem, as opposed to waiting till it falls apart and you say, oh Lord, we got to do something now. Did we take care of it from the beginning?
What is your hope for Emanuel?
I would love to see Emanuel be the church of Charleston, to where all people could come in, praise and worship, enjoy a nice service, and when they leave on that Sunday, they do something to help somebody before they come back the next Sunday. That would be my hopes.
Dorsey T. Montgomery Sr., thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
All right. Thank you, Quintin. You be safe.
You're welcome. You too.
Okay.